Alright folks, as it goes, there's catties in the shed. What we're going to do in this little project is I'm basically going to make up some cotton and Vaseline firelighters, and then what I'm going to do during the period of the video, I'm going to show you some different ways of actually storing them. Obviously one way I like to use is obviously using straws. Another way you could possibly do it if you so wish is to get some people use these to put condiments in and such like, but these are basically just the tops of bottles that have been cut away, glued together in the middle, and then they unscrew both ends if you so wish, if you can undo that one. And these are just basically little containers that you can put, as I say, you know, for the purpose of the video, we're going to be using them for sort of firelighters or for storing some cotton wool and Vaseline in. But you know, you could obviously use them for whatever, and obviously they just slip in a pocket, don't take up a lot of space, so you've always got something for a little bit of an emergency. If you are a little bit cold and wet and such like, and you can't find any fat wood or anything else around, which sometimes you're not always the case, or even birch bark, so this might be a quicker sort of option. Alright, so stay tuned. Right, so whenever you're making these, obviously you're going to need some cotton wool, whether you just want to use the you know, the cotton wool balls, or just something like this, you know, with obviously some Vaseline or petroleum jelly. Alright, they're sort of the two main things you need, and then obviously you need your container, what you're going to use. Now I'm going to show you a couple of varieties. Obviously, like I said, we've got these sort of like little bottle tops here. We've also got the straws, and then we've also got, if we look here as well, I've also got some little containers which used to, like for example, used to store the old film containers in, so they'll work as well if you so wish to use them. Alright, now with the straws, these are kind of cocktail straws, so they're quite long. And they're also quite a bigger diameter, as opposed to, say, these ones here, which I've obviously got. I'll keep these for little demo purposes, but if you look at one of the straws here, even though they'll work, you can see the difference obviously in diameter to those two. Alright, so obviously the bigger it is, the better really, I think. Alright. That's what she said. Right, so let's get going then. Right, so I mean, you can obviously have them this long if you want, you know, but at the end of the day, if you're going to put them in a pocket, or if you're going to put them in your firelighting kit or whatever, then obviously you'll cut that section, that straw down to obviously the length that you want. So for example, let's say, you know, I'm going to go for about the sort of round thumb, just over thumb length or something like that. So we'll cut it off. Alright. Then what I like to do is get a lighter, or you can even have a candle set there. Okay, a set of pliers, just pinch it off the end there so you've got a little bit of an overlap on your pliers. And then what we're going to do is just basically weld the end together. Run your lighter over it and then allow that to sort of cool down. Doesn't take that long. Take it off there, and then pretty much give it a little bit of an inspection, and then what you've got there is obviously your end's been crimped and pinched together, so that ain't coming undone. So we've got that bit, so we can set that down to one side. Now here comes the messy bit. So I've also got this piece of wire here as well, because what's going to happen is once I've obviously mixed up the cotton wool, I'm just going to use that to basically just push that inside there. Alright, so we get a little bit of cotton wool. Get some of that old Vaseline on your finger and lets you just rub it in. Obviously when you're using the cotton, you know, when you light it, obviously it will burn for longer. It almost has that candle effect as opposed to just burning cotton wool. So having it obviously with the Vaseline in it obviously burns a bit longer. I mean, there's probably 1001 videos on YouTube showing you how to make these, but this is just my little angle. Okay, so once you've got some sort of Vaseline into there, can get a bit messy, and literally just place that in there like so, and then just start filling up the straw. So we'll get some more in there. Alright. The only thing is now it just start to stick to your fingers, but that's just, you know, it is what it is. Right. Give it a little twist, narrow it up a little bit more, and then start to stick it in the tube there. So you can see obviously having a wider tube makes it a little bit easier for obviously placing the stuff in. Now let's now say that's full up. Alright, what I can do now is I'll just take that down to there, place the pliers over the end with a little pinch, and then get my lighter, do the same again like what we did with the other end. Okay, that should be okay. Right, and then jobbed, and then look, I mean that's puckering it. I mean it can go in a pocket, go inside your fire lighting kit and such like. Okay, so there's just one option that you can use. Now the great thing about these as well, I mean even if you know, you can literally just light them straight away with a lighter if you so want to, he says, with a lighter, and then obviously it will start to light. Another option that I like to use is, just for example, this is the nearest knife I've got, so what I sometimes do, depending on how windy it is with the lighter, I might just cut it open, whether it's at the top, or I even sometimes run the length of the knife down it just to open it up, and then almost squeeze it like a toothpaste tube. You know, I mean I've been using a Firelighter, but I mean obviously it's probably whether you do or you don't know. Let me just grab a ferro rod out of my my little box of bits and pieces in here. Okay, with a scraper on there, and if you know or you don't know, then obviously the old you know, this old cotton wool will take a spark from a ferro rod. My fingers are still a bit sticky with the Vaseline. Yeah, and then obviously that will burn a hell of a lot longer than say a piece of cotton wool, because obviously it gives it that candle effect. Alright, so there's one little option there, and then I'm quickly just going to show you with these bottle caps again, you know, a little bit of recycling. Maybe it's a little project you can do with your kids, you know, to actually recycle the bottles. I don't drink Diet Coke, I don't drink any of it really. My wife does, or the kids do. I don't touch it. Alright, but same sort of thing again, it can just be bundled up in there. Okay, we'll do the rest of it, we'll stick the rest of this pad in there now. Just give it a mix up. Keeps it nice and waterproof inside that little container. And then same again, you've then got that straw, yeah, to then stick in your pocket or wherever you like, and it's just that handy, you know, when your motor skills maybe are not up to standard, if you've sort of maybe fallen into a river or something like that, at least if you've got something like this in your pocket with a nice ferro rod or even a lighter or both or whatever, at least you've got a means of making flame, a quick flame with just a spark. Alright, and then you can either open both ends and then literally just push it out, or push it out the end, but you know, it doesn't bloody matter, does it? Alright, and then take some out. Okay, alright, now I'm saying with motor skills, you know, we're fumbling and all the rest of it, but even if you can just at least warm your hands up ever so slightly, you know, enough just to get, you know, something out, that little bit of immediate tinder, to whether or not you can get it where you can obviously spark a lighter and get it going, or you can obviously get your ferro rod and place a spark in it with your with the ferro rod as well. All right. Oh, seems over light. So right, so there it is, folks. Real short video, just done a bit of firelighting, making some cotton wool and petroleum jelly firelighters. I'm going to, once the camera's finished, I'm going to continue making some more, because it's one little project that I wanted to do anyway, because my one of my firelighting kits has run out of them, and they're definitely handy to have inside your kit. So there you go, folks. All right, so there's a little idea there of either something you can do yourself, or even do it with the kids during these wintry evenings, and you know, obviously a nice bit of recycling by using these old bottle tops. All right, so thanks for watching, folks. Please take care, don't forget to leave a comment, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so, leave a comment, and stay safe everyone, all the best.